Let's talk medical bills and medical collections. I have a little bit of a frustration when it comes to these types of things because you go to the doctor's office and you fill out all this paperwork, and part of that paperwork asks for your social security number. And it really bothers me because I understand medical offices are protected by HIPAA and all those privacy things that way, but it makes me wonder, do you understand the importance of taking care of somebody's social security number? Also, why do you need my social security number? And I am very adamant. I tell my children, do not put your social security number on those documents. They have your insurance information. They have your date of birth. They have your billing address. They don't need your social security number. So I am very adamant about this. And I'm sure there's going to be some medical people on here that are just mad that I'm saying this, but I don't find it necessary to put your social security number on a medical record sheet that you have to turn in. So where I'm headed with this is this. You have medical bills coming your way. You're going to hopefully get your teeth cleaned. Maybe you'll get some sort of a sickness that you've got to go to the doctor's office for. And whether you have insurance because you're covered under your parents or whether you don't have insurance, it's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, you will have a medical bill at some point that you've got to take care of. And I'm just telling you that this is going to be really easy for you to just think, you know what, medical bills, they're not important. We don't need to worry about them. And that's just not quite right. Medical bills do have the ability to turn into a collection account. Collection accounts in history have been able to report to a credit report. There's been some changes in the market lately that have stopped medical bills from being able to go on to a credit report. And there's this theory that if you have medical collections on your credit report itself, that they will not affect your credit score. I've seen them affect the credit score, so it's kind of an unknown situation there, really, because I've seen it affect it, I've seen it not affect it, and it's just kind of an unknown. But I'm telling you, for the purpose of medical, make sure when you are going to those medical facilities that you are filling out proper mailing addresses, that you are being honest with your situation. If you can't pay the bill and you get the bill, call them and set up a payment plan. If it's $5 a month, that's great. If the people on the other line are just awful and they just want all their money, well, still just do the best that you can. That's really all you can do. If you don't have $100 to be able to pay that dentist bill, then just set up a payment arrangement with them. Now, with that being said, let's talk about Care Credit. That is a third-party company that have teamed up with the medical facilities that allow you to get basically a line of credit for your medical care. I've seen it at dentist offices. I've seen it at doctor's offices. And that is essentially a credit card per se. And it's going to function just a little bit differently because you've got like a high credit limit type situation. I've only seen Care Credit report to their credit report if it's a negative line of credit. As I say this, I'm thinking I remember one time that I saw it on a credit report and it was tied to a different type of account. So it was an account / Care Credit. But Care Credit is a great program. You know, if you've got to have a root canal, that's $1,000 out of your pocket right there, and you have to pay for it. So Care Credit might be your only option. I'm not telling you that that's an absolute terrible option and that you shouldn't do it. I'm just telling you, you've got to be on top of that credit line of Care Credit, no different than if you had that revolving credit card that we've already talked about. Medical collections can cause issues. It can cause you to lose your ability to go to certain medical facilities. You don't want to do that. You want to just keep in good standing. And I think for the most part, medical offices want to work with you if you're helpful and honest with them and just, hey, I know I owe this money. I can only pay this amount of money based off of my budget. Where can you help me? And, I'm going to tell you a quick little story. When I was pretty young, we had a couple kids and we were very poor, didn't have hardly any money. I had an emergency gallbladder surgery down in Utah, and we had gone down for a family reunion, and I just had this excruciating pain in the middle of the night. My husband and my father-in-law carried me out of the hotel room, headed me to the hospital, and found out I had to have an emergency gallbladder surgery. Fast forward a few months, and I get this bill, and it was like $10,000 to the hospital down in Utah. And I was just devastated. I'm like, there's no way. I have no way to make this payment. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to call. I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm going to call. So I called a gal on the phone and I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I have this $10,000 bill. I can make payments. I just can't make very big payments. So is there something you can do to help me? And I said, and she said, sure. So I'm going to mail you out these papers. When you get them, fill them out to the best of your knowledge and then get them sent back to me and we'll be in touch. Okay, sounds good. So I get these papers and I fill them all out as best I can. And I'm thinking, I'm just doing what she asked me to do. And a couple weeks after that, I received a letter in the mail that the hospital had written off my whole bill. And it was a very nice little note that I received from the lady that said, thank you so much for being responsible for this bill and being willing to do what you could. We've gone and decided that we're going to just write off this bill completely. And I can't tell you the peace. And I was so grateful because there was just no way. I mean, that would have taken us 3 or 4 years of little payments to even take a dent out of that. So I'm just telling you from that experience, are you going to get a $10,000 bill written off? Probably not. That was kind of a freak thing. But I'm telling you, you are going to get further with those medical people, the kinder that you are and the more willing that you're able to work with them. That's my task to you, is just know that you have the bill, watch for it in the mail. If you don't get it, call the medical office and say, hey, I had a procedure done a month ago. I haven't seen a bill. What's going on? That's going to go so far because they're going to flag your account and say, hey, they called on this day. They're worried about their bill. So when you do get that bill and it ends up being more money, you're going to have help. They're going to work with you because you were the responsible party. Now, in the event that does go to a collection account, you're going to have the medical facility that's turned it over to a collection account. You're going to have to work directly with the collection agency. If for some reason you just missed it, if you just didn't have the ability to talk to the medical office because you just failed, put your head in the sand and didn't give us crap about what was going on, and it got to collection agency, then call the collection agency, be kind to them and work with them and just say, okay, you've got this medical collection from XYZ medical office. And I need to set up payment arrangements. I need to get this worked out and get everything you're doing in writing. Have them send you something in writing that says, this is how much you owe. This is how much your payment's going to be. Thank you for your time. Medical collections can hurt you bad. They can haunt you bad. Stay in front of them. Be responsible. Work with the people that are there to help you. And really just be aware. I made the procedure happen. I've got the bill coming. And I would just say, watch in the mail and make sure that your paperwork that you have at the doctor's office is up to date. And I'm going to stress to you one more time, do not put your social security number on those medical documents. Not necessary. I have for 20 years been responsible for my own medical paperwork, and not one time have I put that social security number, and I have had a lot of medical things go on and not had that cause me any issues. So medical, it's coming. You're going to have that root canal. You're going to get some sort of a sinus infection. Be aware, your bills are there. Converse with the medical people, set up payment arrangements, stash some money away so that you're prepared for those rainy days. And let's go out and be adults and not be afraid.